Welcome home. It's good to see you. I'm glad you're here. This is Mountain Home. I'm Jerrel. Today I would like to share with you this extremely rare zither from the 1880s that I just finished restoring. These are extremely hard to find. I've only ever seen two others out in the world, and they were in significantly worse condition. I was very lucky to be able to win this in an auction, and it was in extremely rough shape when I got it. It had split the whole way through, so I was able to repair that. It had most of its original strings, but they were in very rough shape. And when you have an instrument like this, you never, ever tune it up with its original strings. They were thicker gauge. They will absolutely destroy the instrument. If you use the older strings, it will pull the instrument forward, cause the whole thing to warp and destroy it, which is why so few of these old zithers remain. Many of them, the vast majority of them, just got thrown out because they were destroyed by their own weight. So I want to share a bit more of the history and the information behind this very rare zither. But first, I think you want to hear it. So let's go ahead and hear it. Now this, I've had a very close look. There are no recordings of this instrument. This, if you have a look at the label inside, is referred to as a symphony harp. It says number 5 on there, which is probably the model. And it is created by the Harp MFG company from Boston, Massachusetts. Again, these are extremely rare. This is the very first recording and the very first video of this instrument being played. Let's go ahead and have a listen now, and then I'll talk a little bit more about it. I won't be playing any particular piece of music, just letting you hear what the instrument sounds like. I hope you've enjoyed taking a listen to that. Again, this is the very first digital recording of this instrument. I have not been able to find recordings of this anywhere on the internet. I haven't been able to find any videos of this. Now, this isn't interesting and extremely odd instrument, and I think there are good reasons why these did not continue to be made. They're so odd, and not in a practical way. You see, we have chord strings, chord groups here. You have F, B flat, A, D minor, C, G7. You could make some modifications to the tuning so you can adjust it a bit, but those are the chords that you have. You have your chords and you have your melody strings here. Now it's odd because we have, it's C to C to C, so 2 octave, but we have A flat and B flat. So it's interesting. I'm very wary about using picks to play on the melody strings because if you are not careful, you will scratch the paint. The strings don't come up that far. And so I try to pick as close to this bridge as possible. I don't want to end up scratching the paint here. Now, I mentioned these instruments. Many of them were destroyed and they were thrown in the garbage for a number of different reasons. One of which is that people see them damaged and they think they're no good, so they throw them out. So let's go ahead and have a look at that now. You'll see significant warping along the instrument here as it curves up. The tension of these strings pull the instrument and warp it forward. You can see it's quite a bit curved. Now I've restored this one and it is stable. As long as these strings don't increase in tension, then the instrument should not continue to warp further. It is stabilized now. So let's see if we can have a good look at how warped that is. You can see it bending and curving. Especially here, you see a significant curve. Let's have a look at the instrument just here. This is fascinating. There are metal rods onto which your chord strings fit, and then they feed through the back. So these chord strings, they attach to those metal rods, and then they come up through there and sit on the bridge on which there is a piece of metal. We also have metal on this bridge here, and we have our pegs. Now the melody strings were a little bit annoying because the strings are quite long. Normally I buy a bunch of sets of lyre strings to repair old zithers. Lyre strings are more modern materials. They're generally quite low tension, and so they are safe to use. Now I say never ever use the original strings. Generally they're quite thick, they are high tension. If you find one of these antique zithers and you see the original strings, remove them immediately. Do not apply tension with the original strings because the tension is so high that they will destroy these instruments. That is how these instruments get thrown in the garbage and they're lost to history as people use the original strings. So, my approach to preserving these instruments is I use significantly lower tension with lyre strings, but I use a combination of guitar strings here. The only strings I've left are the bass strings, and I've tuned them down so they are not at the tension which we would normally see. Now, what's fascinating, I'll put that up to the camera, is you can see the tones at which the strings are meant to be tuned. You have a look there. You can see the strings are all defined, especially down here. The instrument tells you how to tune each string. What I've done is I've actually tuned each string to the next tone down in the chord group. So this string here, the one at the very end, is listed as A. It's defined as A, and then the next one down is F. I've actually tuned this string to the next tone down, which means these strings are all at significantly lower tension. That means that this instrument has been preserved and protected, because if you were to tune, even with these significantly lighter tension strings, if you tune to those tones, it will cause the instrument to continue warping and folding in on itself. When I restore these instruments, that is how I'm able to keep them safe, to stop them from getting damaged any further. All of my zithers that are from the 1800s and early 1900s are tuned thusly. You're still getting the exact same chord group, so it's not like you are changing the sound beyond anything that isn't faithful. It means that you can safely tune and play these instruments. The materials that these are made out of they're not like Stradivarius violins. The material that they use is not very good quality. You'll find that the woods are generally kind of soft. It gives an eeriness to the voice of these instruments. What is fascinating about these old zithers is sympathetic resonance. When you play one string, it's actually causing every single other string to vibrate as well. I will do a recording with my studio equipment. I don't have that set up to record at the moment. I'm just here in front of my webcam, but you will hear the full nuance of this instrument when I do further videos that share this instrument and other zithers from the same time period. This is so fascinating to me. Again, Symphony Harp. This is the very first digital audio recording and the very first video of this instrument. I haven't seen any other playable ones. It's so fascinating. You can see that the chord groups sit a little bit higher up than the melody strings, but the problem is that you have to play extremely carefully when you are striking the chord groups, because you can you can actually strike the melody strings, and it's not what you want. It's actually easiest to accidentally strike the strings here. And that largely has to do with the instrument at this end has had more tension over its life, and it's pulled the instrument that much forward. Were it to straighten out more, it would be harder to accidentally hit those strings. So in general, with the chord strings, you have to play lower, closer to the bridge. So this is something I'm so pleased to have in my collection so that I can share it with people. I will display this proudly in my Zither corner. I feel that every good home should have a Zither corner upon which their zithers may be displayed, and the guests may admire one's zithers in the home and to bring the zither down, play and sing some old traditional songs. So if you would like me to try to play any particular song or hear any tunes on this, please let me know. I will try to share as much of these old instruments as I can. I'm quite busy with work. If you would like to contribute, it gets a bit pricey. I'm trying to win these instruments in auctions. I'm restoring them. I have to get strings for all of them. It gets a little bit pricey. If you would like to help me restore these, you can help me restore these. I'll put a link in the description if you'd like to donate, and you can help me buy some strings. I have a couple other zithers that I'm currently restoring right now, waiting for some glue to dry. I'm adding moisture back to the material in one zither so I can bend it back and then glue it and fortify it a bit and reinforce it. And I'm thinking about all the strings that I'm going to have to acquire. So if you would like to help me out, you can help me restore these instruments, and I'll keep sharing these and making recordings so that you can hear and enjoy the history of music with me. Thanks very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed that. Let me know if there's any tunes you'd like me to play on this. Be well, take care, come home again soon. I'll leave the porch light on for you.